What's up, guys, and welcome back to Planet Coaster 2. If you're enjoying this series, make sure to leave a like on the video. It would be greatly appreciated. Today, we're going to be picking up where we left off with Toogii World, but just in case there are a few of you that maybe aren't members of our Discord server, which you should totally join, by the way, link is always down in the description. We'd be happy to have you. But I scratched my cornea this past weekend. It's honestly the dumbest thing. We were just trying to do a little yard work, chop down a few involuntary trees, and this one single stick, for whatever reason, had me in its sights, came at me from the top ropes, and took me out when I least expected it. Scratched my cornea pretty much straight through the center of my pupil, so my vision in that eye is still a little blurry, and it's super sensitive to light. So we'll see how long I'm able to tough it out for today, but I'm just so excited to keep working on this dang park, dude. Otherwise, I probably would have taken another personal day. But that's enough of that. First things first, we need to get rid of these. Honestly, that was kind of a, oh yeah, and then they're gonna try to go do other things. We're gonna have to fire them, unfortunately. But this was a little bit of a rushed decision, I would say. Probably should have tried to put just a little bit more thought into that. So we're gonna be doing something else for our vendors today. Stay tuned. Hey, maybe the title and or thumbnail already gave it away. This might seem a little silly, but today I want to try to make another building. And that might seem a little silly because we're kind of down bad as far as our finances are concerned. You can see here our park profit, there isn't any. I mean, we're making money, $734, but we're also, you know, spending $7 grand. Most of that is power and also staff pay, specifically our mechanics, because we kind of have two of those. We'll probably have to adjust that later as well, but I'm thinking right here, right smack dab in the middle, would probably be the perfect spot for a little bit larger of a building than our main entrances. Those are really supposed to just be entrance gates, not really entrance buildings, if you will. So I'd like for there to be something else here. I don't really have a plan for it, but we'll see how this goes. So I'm just going to take this terrain down. Doesn't need to be perfect whatsoever. We can obviously come through later and change that some more if we need to. But with that now complete, let's switch over to our paths. I think we're going to have to get rid of these rounded corners just temporarily, top and bottom. We should probably get rid of these too. Those, again, top and bottom, those might end up just getting in our way more than anything. Okay, so now we'll go back to paths. We're going to use our stamped builder. Let's change the style back to what it was. And then, do we want railing here? Let's go ahead and leave it on. And then we'll kind of see if that really is something that we should leave on or not. But we're gonna re-square that all off, basically just getting rid of that rounded corner. And then we're gonna do the same thing right down here as well. All right, I'm into it already. Now then, getting away from the stamp builder, we are going to make another staircase right here. And you know what? One of you had a really good idea. Why don't we change the texture just for the stairs to make them look a little bit nicer? So I'm gonna switch to the cobblestone path. I'm pretty sure that's the texture that I'm thinking of. We'll find out here in a moment. Yes, that's much better than the asphalt steps, I think. So we're gonna leave that one there, sort of unfinished. We're gonna do the same thing now on the other side. If you're curious as to how I'm going about making these stairs, I think there are a couple of different methods. What I do is, for something like this where I don't want the stair to connect to another path, I hold control, so that kind of stops that from happening. And then if you just hit J on your keyboard, that's gonna bring it down, and then U will bring it up. So it'll kind of do that in stages. But something else that tends to help is if you have the fixed length for your path at 13 feet. Don't ask me why. That's just kind of the move. So now that we have those two staircases, we'll go back to our stamp builder. And then if this is gonna let us do it, we're gonna try to, well, we don't really want that path texture there, do we? We're gonna try to add another path just at the base of this new staircase. I don't know if that's gonna connect up right, so I'm gonna back out of that and try this real quick. Okay, it looks like they're gonna meet in the middle pretty well. So let's bring this side over again, just to be on the safe side. We're gonna back out of that and align this with that other existing path. Okay, I do already see some terrain that we're gonna have to fix, but I'm liking what I'm seeing otherwise. Oh, and then the railing. We don't really want railing down here. So let's back that up. We'll replace that, but just no railing this time. I'm not sure why, but changing that did alter our staircase a little bit. I mean, we're gonna have to change the texture of that anyways. Seems like that's gonna fix it. Cool. All right, easy enough. We do still have a little bit of terrain sort of clipping through the steps too, but we can always fix that. Maybe I guess when we're fixing this other terrain. So now this is obviously the plot of land where I want this new facility, new building to be. So for that, we're gonna head in here to our building supplies, and we need brick, of course, because we're gonna start with the base level and then kind of work our way up. I just need to find that same brick that we were using elsewhere. I think it's this guy, right? Yes. So there's two different types of bricks. There's this one, and then there's another that doesn't really have a mortar color to it. That's the best way that I can explain that. And then this is going to need to be very, very carefully lowered down just until it comes into contact with this path. That seems pretty good to me. And then we're gonna have it on the inside there. So over here, we're gonna want it on the inside as well. Now that we have that done, we're gonna back all the way out and advanced move our new building until it comes into contact with just that outside edge of the path curb. Looks pretty good on that side. Let's check the other. Okay, a little far away over here. Not a big deal though, not a big deal. Okay, now gonna keep taking these brick pieces and just keep duplicating them along until we have a 4x3 wide structure. And again, we're gonna move the entire building. I would say that it doesn't need to be perfect, but I'd be lying. It really does need to be like bang on here. Height too. Try to make sure that that's almost level. Looks close enough. Looks close enough for now. Oh, I forgot a wall? Whoops. My bad. Okay. So still staying to the center of this grid. What I mean by that is this would be considered the outside. This would be the center, if that makes sense. But we're gonna do something like that. And then over here, we'll see how well we align that. Oh, that is money. Cash money. And then let's do one more here. Or do we want it here? We'll figure that out later. Moving back up to the top side real quick. I think what I want to do up here is get rid of those two squares. And then let's try to do, maybe instead of a staircase, we'll try to do a ramp. Just something real slight. Again, not the right texture. There we go. So this is gonna be the technically first floor, right? Because wouldn't down here be the basement? Doesn't matter. Really doesn't matter whatsoever. But I'm hoping that when we move out to the edges here, that it's not gonna mess up our staircase or anything. Doesn't look like it will. Okay. Hey, so far so good. For not having a plan, this is really coming together. But the only reason that I wanted the ramp is because we're going to be doing another just real short brick level here. So that'll kind of go around the base. But also, every time I've built a building with multiple stories, the path always seems to hang lower on the like basement level, for example, here, than I really want it to. So doing this should hopefully make it to where we can have a pretty high ceiling still. But anyways, I'm I'm already getting distracted. So we're gonna keep editing this building, and like I said, just kind of add another layer of this brick all the way around. It's looking like the brick over here is clipping through the side of the path, which is what I wanted, but the brick on the back isn't. So we may end up having to move, well, I don't want brick there. We may end up having to move the entire building, which I kind of expected that, to be honest. And we'll just go ahead and bring this straight across. Dude, this is looking nice, though. Wait a minute. What the heck's going on here, dude? How did that happen? Can we just do this to fix it? Maybe not. We're not gonna worry about it for right now. Before I get too carried away with all that, I want to see if we couldn't fit maybe a restroom in this little corner pocket and then another one on the opposite side, because it occurred to me and to a couple of you watching the previous episode, we don't have any bathrooms. None whatsoever. So I definitely want some down here, and then we'll probably try to squeeze one or two more up on the top floor as well. But let's edit this building. I'm hoping that if we use this building's grid, that it's not gonna do any other weird stuff. So we'll go into create custom. We just need a turlet right yonder. Okay, it did kind of flatten the terrain out a little bit, but it doesn't seem to have really hurt anything. I mean, that railing was already there. As long as it's gonna let us place that building, that's all I'm really after. Oh, and you know what? We should double this up. Yeah, otherwise the spacing is gonna be all wrong. But look at that, dude. We've got normal height ceilings for a change. I'm into it. I'm very, very into it. Okay, so now that we have those down there, we should probably see about putting some additional facilities up on the top. So actually, we're gonna continue editing this one. Let's go back into facilities. We'll do some more turlets top side. So I want that maybe there. Doesn't seem to have done anything weird to the rest of the path, which is obviously good. And then instead of those counters that we were using before, right? I think I'm gonna go with the full shop this time. I mean, it's the same price. We might as well. It'll save us quite a bit of time later on. So we're gonna do a chief beef, a classic restaurant, if you will, up top. And then Cosmic Cow milkshakes. Maybe we'll put that down below. Let's do a soda lightful right up here next to this bathroom. All right, and then heading back down, I think, like I said, maybe Cosmic Cow milkshake. Drink shop is left side. So down here, we're gonna do drink shop left side as well. Probably like back corner. And then back into food, we need something else down under here. I'm between maybe Pizza Pen or Hot Dog Squad. Let's go Pizza Pen. I feel like we don't really utilize that one too often. Okay, so those are the facilities that we're gonna have inside of this building. It's basically done. We just have to finish the actual building still. And then up here, I kind of want that to be a deck. So let's go back into paths, and then we'll just use our customized brush. Hopefully that's gonna do good things for us. We do actually want railing here, but I want wooden railing, and I think I want the railing to be white. We'll see what that's gonna look like. Oh, hang on, I still need to change this to wood. Let's go with maybe the vertical plank. We'll see how that looks. I'm sorry, what? What do you mean too steep? Let's try this. There we go. Okay, and then we can just bring that all the way over to there. That looks so much better already. And you know what? I don't really mind this wood texture clipping through. To be honest, we'll probably cover it up with some other wood trim later anyways. But I'm into it. Definitely into it. Okay, so down under here, we're probably gonna want like an arch or something. So I'm gonna try this station surround right here. We'll just do that. Yeah, that's perfect. Oh, and then right here as well, we're gonna need something else for that, but that brick doesn't really have that opening. Oh, here's the other brick I was talking about. See how it doesn't really have like a mortar color? It's kind of all the same. Not a big fan of that one. But what we need is the large window opening. That is all we get. And then this is going to need to go down. Oh, we're going to have to change our grid height. Just down until you can't see that bottom one. So we're basically making our own arch. That's just kind of what we have to do here, unfortunately. And then let's grab the 1 meter. And we'll just kind of put that up on the top. Make sure that the textures aren't clipping through each other, though. That looks good. Rotate it around. We'll do the same thing right yonder. Yeah, that's gonna have to do. In the comments of the previous episode, I did see a handful of you guys suggesting maybe we add some more ramps throughout the park for guests who might be wheelchair bound or guests who have small kids and they want to bring in a stroller to the park. And I think that that's a good idea. However, that doesn't exist here, which is honestly kind of unfortunate. But you bet your sweet Bippy, if we had wheelchair bound guests, if we had guests who wanted to bring in strollers to the park, I would 100% cater to their needs. But because that doesn't exist, I don't really want to take the extra time to do that type of thing. However, if we run into a scenario like this where we kind of need to have a ramp to get a path to a specific height, we'll have a ramp. Moving on to the second floor, or I guess technically the first floor, right? If that's the basement, it doesn't matter. We need plaster, I think, on the inside, and then the outside, of course, is going to look pretty similar to our main entrance gateway deals. So let's do plaster shop front walls, of course, right around our facilities here. And then, do we actually have a proper archway for plaster? We don't. Okay, well that's less than ideal. Not even like the big window thing like we had for the brick. Nope. Okay, we do have this arch extension. I guess we can kind of just do a similar thing to what we did down under my. Sorry, Australians. I'll never do that again, I swear. I'll do it again. You know I'm gonna do it again. And then let's also change the color of the tile on these bathrooms. I feel like if we did this, maybe in a white, I don't know if I'm 100% sold on that. What if we did black tile on the bottom? No, it's gotta match the color scheme. How about that dark teal? And then if we did dark teal on the top, that doesn't look terrible. Yeah, let's go with that. I kind of like the way that looks, but now we do have to change all 4 of them, of course. Okay, so we've got plaster walls on the inside of that floor. Down here, though, I'm almost thinking we should go painted brick. That way it's still brick, but different. Same, but different. And now that we have that done, we should probably start looking into a ceiling for under here, because it doesn't really look that great having just the underside of the path exposed like that. So I'm thinking brick floor, that's a no-go. You know what? I think there were skinnier ones. Oh, I still have brick in the search. I think there were skinnier ones that we could use, though. These all seem pretty thick still. Maybe with 2 C's, we don't know for sure. Yeah, here we go. Something like this. I don't want the aged one for under here, though that probably wouldn't look that bad. Let's just type, let's type wood up in the search. A wooden ceiling could look good, but again, I don't want the aged look. I think that we have a non-aged one, this guy right here. That would work perfectly. Look at that height too. That is bang on. Okay, we may want to change the color of it. Let me see, what color was the wood in here? Was this just all natural? No, it was not. Okay, so we're gonna copy that, and then let's try to apply that same color to this. That's better. That is better. I like the lighter wood, but how's that gonna look under here, I wonder? Pretty good. I mean, so long as we can get rid of that clipping through the brick, I don't think that'll look too bad at all. We could also paint it white too. I mean, we did the underside of this roof that way and it turned out pretty solid. let's just go with this for now, and if later we find out that we don't really care for it, we can change it. Not a big deal. I think it looks all right. Dude, our first building where the ceiling isn't like 3 feet lower than it really should be. I'm a big fan of that. Oh, you know what else I'm forgetting? The plaster, hang on. I felt like there was something that I was forgetting. So let's change this back to plaster. It's the ridge cap, right? This guy. I'm pretty sure that's what we're using. Let's make sure it's actually pure white. And then we're gonna be putting these all around the perimeter like so. Ooh, we've got that ceiling clipping through the outside. Not a big deal. I can split them from the building if we need to. And we can kind of move them around after the fact. Otherwise, you know, they're in the same grid as the rest of the building, and it's not gonna really enjoy being moved around. Actually, it won't work, period. That can't be done. We'd be moving the entire building, not just the ceiling down there. Now that we've got our little plaster ridge cap border finished up, we're gonna switch back over to our modern wood wall. And then I'm gonna bump up the grid height so it doesn't do weird stuff on us. And we're just gonna start bringing this all the way around the perimeter. Here, we're probably gonna want some sort of an opening, so I'm gonna leave that open for the time being. And then around the front as well. I don't really know what I wanna do there. Does the modern wall, oh, it does have the station surround. Perfect. We'll just use that. Front and back, probably. That looks pretty good. That way the guests can, you know, easily walk through the shop area and make their way out to the rear patio, rear deck, whatever you want to call that thing. This is looking really nice so far. Not to, you know, pat myself on the back too much, toot my own horn, but I'm a big fan of this. So we're also going to need these little trim pieces that we made from the other buildings, but I'm going to hold off on that until we get the next floor done. I do think I want to bring this up just one more floor, and maybe we'll do like a little bit of a portion of a roof off the front, just kind of covering the ramp, and then we could do something similar on the back side. So we don't really have to bring this up that much. And I think I'm going to take another page out of Disney's book where they'll sort of have like the second story of a building. The walls are actually shorter, and it somehow, it's like forced perspective again. It somehow makes it look bigger than it actually is, if that makes any sense whatsoever. To me, honestly, it doesn't. But if Disney's doing it, we could probably do it as well, right? Do we want to follow the same shape up, or should we change it a little bit? No, let's not get carried away. All right, we're just gonna try to do this nice and simple. My eye is really bugging on a stack right now. I can tell you that for sure. I could have done this whole thing no face cam. That way I wouldn't have needed to have the lights on, but that's boring. Isn't that boring? I feel like that's boring. Oh, we're gonna need a ceiling in here too. So let's do the same thing. We should still have some that are part of that grid. I think that guy is. Maybe? Seems like it anyways. And then we'll try to drag it on up here. That looks to be about the same height. And these are probably gonna need to be split from the building as well, no? Oh, they're not clipping through the walls. Okay, never mind. I'll change my camera so we can get down under here. Yeah, I really like that. I think that that's gonna work out very well for us. Not crazy about what's going on here. Could we just get rid of that? No, we cannot. Okay, it's gonna have to stay like that, I suppose. Oh, we're gonna need another little bit of separation in between the two floors. Probably around here somewhere. Let's do that so we can see how it looks on the inside. Oh yeah, that's perfect, dude. It's like crown molding in there. Nice. All right. Again, I keep saying this, but I am into it. We're just gonna work this all the way around the perimeter here. And then we should probably do one more top side. Like right around this area, I would think. Now, before we continue, I feel like I just have to see a roof on this structure. And since we're gonna do the same roof that we went with on the main entrance buildings, it's gonna take a considerable amount of time to construct. So we're just gonna go ahead and cut, and we will resume once the roof is finished. So I'll see you guys here in just a sec. Ladies and gentlemen, this should be the last piece of the puzzle. Right there. Dang it, dude, I just built a house. I built a residential building instead of a commercial one. But that's okay, right? It still looks good. We need some posts. Ooh, we've got some weird clipping happening here. Hang on just a second. Is that one building? It is. Okay, so I can just slide that in slightly. That way it doesn't do weird stuff there on the end. Okay. Dude, it's looking good though. Again, it's a residential building instead of it needing to be a commercial building. And then we need some posts. Ooh, and some beams, yo. We should do some beams underneath. Maybe 3 posts back here, 1 in the middle, 2 on each end, and then we'll just do 2 posts around the front. I think it's gonna look a little weird until we add windows, and then maybe at that point it'll all kind of come together. It does look just a little strange, even to the guy who just built the dang thing. But let's start working on these front pillars or front columns, whatever you want to call them. In the catalog, they're called columns, so I guess we'll just go with that. What do we got? We got concrete pillars. I want something that's square. Ooh, thick wooden beams. Are they are rectangular. They are not square. Okay, so we'd have to kind of double those up, which I'm not completely against. You know what? Those would probably work better for the beams on the underside of the roof. Maybe something like this. I don't think that looks too bad. The ones on the ends need to get moved inward a little bit, and then they all kind of need to get scooted in toward the building as well so they don't clip through our beautiful, beautiful roof that definitely didn't almost take 2 hours to create. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. I'm not upset about it in the slightest bit. So now that we have those in place, we need beams going the other direction, sort of across the front face here, and those need to be quite a bit larger. And then we'll try to find a good, like, pillar to sort of go with them. All right, the framework is now complete. So I think what I want to do next is grab this, sort of that ceiling from inside. I want to see how it would look adding that in. That is nice. That is really nice. We're gonna have some additional clipping and stuff, but we've got ways around that. I'm not super concerned about it. And then we should probably do something similar up front. Up front, the whole roof is a bit lower than round back, so I'm not really able to put an additional beam in the center because it would hang too low in that doorway. So I think we're just gonna stick with the 2 on the ends there, and we'll kind of just call it good. But let's see what it would look like in the front with this. Oh, it's doing the weird thing where it claims that it uses a grid, but it doesn't actually use a grid. Let's change that to 1.64. Now if we lower it down, that should be the right height. Let's see. Yeah, that looks good. Except that it's level with the door frame. Why does that bother me so much? You know what? Maybe we'll end up raising the front so it's the same height as the rear. I don't really want to do that, but it's kind of looking like we might have to. I decided to put a little plaster ridge cap border just around the base of these little roof extensions as well. And I really kind of like the way that it looks. So instead of moving these beams in like towards the house, I think what I'm gonna do instead is basically just bring them down a little bit, just until they stop clipping through the top side of the roof. I don't know why, but something that I love to build in Planet Coaster is pergolas. I don't really know why, but that's essentially what we've built underneath both the front and the rear portions of these overhanging roofs. So now we're finally ready to try to find some posts or some columns or some, what's another word for that? Pillars, right? And I'm thinking probably just this plain wooden one. Ooh, do they have a smaller version of it? Maybe? Oh yeah, there we go. That way we could kind of beef it up, because I'm pretty sure, yeah, they're a little too skinny, I think, by default. And then, of course, if we beefed this one up, it would be too tall. So let's go with probably the 2-meter one. And just so it kind of snaps to everything else, I'm going to plop it down on the wall, even though that's not where it's going to be. And we'll scale it up. See if we can make this look good over here. 200%. We'll try that first. I think we've got us a winner. Honestly, that lines up very, very well with the rest of the stuff. I don't know if I want it to be that same sort of natural wood color, or if we should, oh no, we should definitely not do that. It's more gray than white. Yeah, we'll stick with this. I guess if we wanted to get real crazy, we could probably take these little trim pieces and sort of plop them down around each corner of this column. That might not look terrible. We'll leave it bare for the time being. We'll just leave it raw, all natural. And then let's slide another one down here and probably just have maybe one more smack dab in the center, I think. Or not. I think we need 2 more. We need 1 more aligned with this beam, and we need 1 more aligned with the other over here. We'll see how that looks. It just, I don't know. It doesn't look right to me for whatever reason. And now that kind of looks like too many of those columns or pillars. Let's see what would happen if I just deleted the center one. That's slightly better. That is slightly better, because it doesn't really block the view then. Granted, our view currently is a very uninspiring teacups ride, but that's subject to change. For sure, for sure. Okay, so now that we have the rear pretty well squared away, I'm gonna copy 2 of these bad boy billies right around to the front side. We'll see if we can't make this look just as good. Since the front roof is technically higher off the ground than the rear, we're gonna have to sort of get a little creative with how we can fill in that bottom section. Obviously, we could, duplicate another one of these and just slap it right down there, but I don't really like the look of that. I'm almost wondering if we shouldn't beef that up. Let's advanced move and duplicate that sucker. We'll grab the 1-meter one, scale that up, maybe 300%, and then get that lowered down. We'll try to sort of cover that little bit of fence railing that's clipping through as well. See, that's nice. That is nice. Just gives it a little bit more dimension, a little bit more flair. It still needs windows pretty badly, I would say. But before we go around and try to make that happen, I think I'm gonna go through and add the corner trim, same stuff that we have on our smaller main entrance buildings. And then we'll see where we're at after that point. Golly. Why is putting in eye drops so stressful? I guess it's probably not for people that have to do it all the time, but I only have to do it 4 times a day for 3 more days. But that's the last of the trim. And I gotta say, it looks superb. We should probably put something around the doorways, but I'm not gonna worry about that just yet. I'm not sure if we should maybe make a door or something custom to go in those spaces, or maybe we'll just leave it open. I'm kind of up in the air on it still. But we've got all the trim in the peaks of the roof. We've got all the trim around the sides of the building as well. So let's check out some windows. This could either make or break this building, and I'm really kind of nervous about it, tell you the truth. These wouldn't be bad, probably. I mean, they sort of have a glass look to them. I decided not to use these on the front building because I thought they looked too plasticky. But I want to try it. Let's put that one right there. Just change the color to white. And we'll stand back. See what we think about that. For the first floor. For the first floor, I think that'll work, but we'll probably need something smaller on the second. I just want to see. I just want to see how that would look. Honestly, not bad, at least for there. And we could do the same here and here. Maybe we don't need any windows in this middle portion. Or, what about these? Could that work? Just kind of two up there, like that. I mean, it's around the same height as these. I'll probably lower them down so they're aligned properly. I don't hate it. I definitely don't hate it, but this doesn't have the same sort of glass that the other windows have. Let me change that to light blue, maybe. It's getting there. It's a little bit better. Change the trim to a true white. And then maybe this would have to be white as well if we really want it to blend. I'm not crazy about it. Feel free to let me know what you guys think, of course, down in the comments. Maybe the roof. Maybe the roof is what's like throwing it off. Because I feel like that window needs to be aligned with those little dormers. But maybe not. I'm gonna do without them. And we'll just go with these for the time being. Yeah, I don't know if I'm feeling that. It just looks kind of bare on the backside without any sort of windows above that roof line. Maybe it really is the dormers. Just for testing purposes, I'm gonna get rid of all the dormer stuff. And we'll see if that kind of cleans it up a little bit. I mean, yeah, but then I still think we need windows. Let's try these again. We'll do one there, 4 across the back. And now it's fine. You get rid of the dormer, and suddenly I think it works. Let me see if that's gonna work around front though too. Whoops. We gotta delete that whole thing and that whole thing. Edit this building. Add in those same windows. That is still not really doing it for me in the front. But the back does look better. You know what we should probably do? We should probably hit play. So all the guests that have been inside the park the whole time can finally have somewhere to go to the bathroom at. Right? Wouldn't that be nice if you were in a theme park and they had, you know, bathrooms for you to use? We'll keep these closed temporarily, but I do want to edit this building a little bit more because I'm thinking if we took, well, we'd probably need, we'll bury it into the ground. It'll be fine. Let's duplicate this. Make sure that our grid height is set up properly. And then if we rotate that around, ooh, okay. It's doing some weird clipping stuff, but if we split it from the building, I think we could probably make that look a little bit nicer. There we go. See, isn't this cool? It sort of reminds me of like a weird back alley type thing. I don't really know why. I can't say I've ever seen anywhere IRL that is like this, but I think it's kind of cool. And I'm tempted to do something similar here and then have this whole grassy area where the ride is lowered down as well. Could be kind of cool. Probably not going to have enough time to do that today, unfortunately. I'd really like to give my eye a break. Tell you the truth, it's not doing so hot right now. But inside's looking great. I'm loving these beams. You know what else we should do is on the inside here, let's use our customization brush and pick something different for the inside. It shouldn't be asphalt in here. I feel like that's kind of just a little weird. And I don't want wood because this isn't a deck. Maybe this? Oh, let me make sure that railing is also off. That could have been bad. Not crazy about it immediately. I think there's another one though. What about the sandstone? Definitely not that. I think I like this one a little bit more. The squares are more uniform. You guys know how big of a deal that is for me. We'll do the same thing down here in the basement, also known as the dungeon. This can stay asphalt. I think that's totally fine. Okay. Yo, we made some good progress on this sucker today, let me tell you. All right, so now I think we're at a point to where we can open these bad boys up. And then same thing down underneath. We're gonna need some signage, some advertisements for these things too, so the guests kind of know where everything's at. But we're looking good, man. We are looking very, very good. Now I just want all these guests to hop off the ride, so we'll see if they'll actually interact with this thing. Oh, you know what? While we're waiting, I'll go around with our terrain tool and just try to smooth out some of these rough spots. Or maybe we should be pushing just a little bit. That's somehow making it worse. There we go. That's better. Over here, do we have any clippage? None whatsoever. All right. Oh, here we go. Are they all exiting the park? The people on the right, the people on the left are just going to get right back in the queue. Are these people leaving? For real? Let's fast forward. Ain't no way. Okay, okay, okay. Some of them went up here. Making a quick pit stop at the So Delightful. Ooh, I like the music going on in here. That's good. Yeah, everyone else is either leaving or getting prio. What about this bigger group right here? They are dipping. All right. See you next time. Hopefully, we only have 55 total guests. And we are losing so much money, it's unreal. But we've got people going down here, though. Taking a look around. They're not going to go inside. They're just going down the steps to go up the other side. Amazing. Amazing. You know what we haven't tried yet is getting rid of both of those and replacing them with these. So now it's the same front and rear, but the roof is slightly different. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I'm also kind of tempted to get rid of this. And if I remember right, we also had one on the inside. We did. So let's do that. And then I'm going to copy this right yonder. Is that the same height? Yeah, that looks about right. No, actually, that is way too tall. What the heck am I doing? It should be down like that. That's quite a bit better, in my opinion. Of course, let me know what you guys think of everything down in the comments. Something else that this building still needs is some gutters, but we're probably going to have to save that for the next episode. And on that note, ladies and gents, that is unfortunately where we're going to have to wind things down at for today. But once again, if you guys did enjoy, please leave a like, leave a comment, help support the dream by smashing that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Peace.